Welcome to the Pylon to Pylon podcast, where we love football and hate your opinion. Joined always by your host, Skylar Burkhart,
Boston Vizogo,
and Donnie Druin.
Welcome again to the NFL recap episode, post-combine. We're going to talk about a couple things today. Cuts, big news around the NFL, and the NFL tags that the deadline just passed earlier today, or earlier yesterday if you're just listening to the podcast now. So, to start it off, the biggest surprise, I think, this offseason so far out of player news is Eric Weddle being cut from the Baltimore Ravens earlier today. I think that was huge.
Even on the players that weren't tagged, you think that was the biggest news?
I think it was the biggest surprise, I would say. Biggest surprise.
I'm not sure it's more of a surprise. It sucks to see as like a Ravens fan. I know Richie was kind of distraught about it, but you can kind of see it coming. Dude's 34 years old. He's set to make about $7.5 billion, including like a signing bonus. I just don't think the Ravens wanted to pay him that money. Why not get a guy like Richie was talking to me? He said he'd probably get Demaryius Thomas day 2 is what they're thinking now.
Well, he's falling that hard?
Yeah.
Wow.
He really is. Wow. The problem is what I've been seeing, he was a great leader in the room. He was a great some of the young players looked up to him and stuff. He did great things for the organization, also for the city as well. I think $7 million is just fine for what he did for that team, and also his play didn't really decline. He played at a high tier level.
I think the Ravens kind of want to get a youth movement going on defense. They're probably going to cut Weddle. I think Terrell Suggs has played his last time as a Baltimore Raven as well.
Really?
Yeah.
There's been rumors spread around that.
I think Suggs will end up playing somewhere else, to be honest. CJ Mosley, even though he's like 26 years old, I believe, I think they're just ready to kind of move on and restructure their team now that they have their new franchise quarterback. So.
Yeah, I definitely think Weddle was one that was coming sooner rather than later. So I think it's a smart move.
Yeah, even like before the season ended, you can kind of tell that he wasn't super sure if he was going to be back. He did multiple radio interviews where he said, "Hey, I understand it's a business. It is what it is." So I think at least the thought of it was in his mind. But yeah, there were no. Usually, you kind of hear about this before it.
Some rumors or anything,
breaks, but Rappaport's laid it on everybody.
Bam,
so.
cut.
Just like Mark Barron.
Yep, true.
Next up, we got some other surprising news. Demaryius Thomas was actually arrested. Donnie, more details on that?
Yeah, so he hasn't had a very good year past Week 16 the NFL season. Getting traded to the Houston Texans, and then did he rupture his Achilles? He did something terrible.
He popped his Achilles.
Yeah, he ruptured his Achilles in Week 16. And then last week, he was actually going 70 miles in a 30-mile-per-hour zone with 2 people inside of the car. He then lost control on a parkway and ended up rolling the car. He's now facing felony vehicular assault charges.
They'll get dropped.
I don't know about that. This is a little bit different because you endanger someone's life. So I mean,
and they're also felonies, not misdemeanors.
He'll plead them down. Take 2 misdemeanors, and he won't serve jail. I guarantee.
You also got to think about this. He's a free agent. Also, is going to affect who wants to sign him after that too.
Well, I was about to say, how do you think this affects his market? If there was,
he had a limited market as it was, and because he's 31, 32 now.
He's up there for sure, but outside of Golden Tate, I think he was the biggest name hitting the market.
Biggest name, but he didn't produce much in Denver the first half of the season. Didn't do anything really for Houston the second half of the season. Then popped his Achilles, and now this. I think he'd be a training camp ad if somebody's receiver.
That's what I think. We're not going to see him sign anywhere, if at all, until like midsummer.
You got to remember, Des Bryant kind of set the bar for veteran receivers now.
True. Yeah, I think Des, if you want to compare the two, I think Des would have been a little bit more like in demand in terms of like being a free agent.
Yes.
And Des Bryant didn't do what Demaryius did, so you don't have to necessarily worry about that. But I mean, I don't think Demaryius is worried about money. I don't think he's stressing to play on a team. I think at this point in his career, if he does decide to play football again, he's just looking for the right fit, and that's exactly what Des Bryant did.
I mean, he got his money, he's got his Super Bowl, like you were about to say. Nothing else to worry about at this point. Let's talk a little bit more into the quarterback market of free agency right now. Jaguars are actually expected to sign Nick Foles. The rumors are right now. What do you guys think on Jaguars picking him up?
I've never been a fan of him outside of Philly. He's never played well outside of it.
Nope, that's not.
So I think it's a mistake.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's a crapshoot pretty much anywhere a free agent quarterback goes, like you alluded to on our college episode, which if you haven't listened to it, go ahead and listen to it on Spreaker, iTunes. You can find us on Twitter at the PDP Podcast. Same name for Instagram as well. Like us on Facebook, the Pound Podcast. College and NFL episodes out every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
And then follow us also on the Downtown Rams Network.
Yep, true. We're proud partners of the Downtown Rams Podcast Network.
With the Jaguars signing Nick Foles, does this really increase their wins? Does this kind of leave it neutral? Does this hurt them? Where do you guys stand on this?
Here's what I have to say about this. And it was on NFL Network this morning. If you were going into a playoff game or a championship game, you'd want Nick Foles as your QB. Like, that'd be your go-to guy. And rightfully so after how he's performed in the playoffs and the Super Bowl the last 2 seasons. However, they went on to say, would you want Nick Foles to be your Week 2 starter against the Titans?
No.
I think it's going to be more or less the same. I don't think it will hurt them because it's hard to go backwards from Blake Bortles, but
I just don't see the Jaguars taking him and all of a sudden be like, nope, we're not going to take a quarterback in this draft class. I would still take a young quarterback in a fallback case, if Foles struggles as your starter for the couple weeks.
Yeah, but Foles isn't extremely old. He's 30. So, best case scenario, you could squeeze about 5 to 6 more years out of him before you really see a decline in this play. Now, granted, he, last year whenever he played, he completed about 72% of his passes that he threw. Also, the Eagles like to run the football a lot, so I'm sure that helped with his numbers as well. Threw 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions last year. The jury's still out on him, but remember, a couple weeks ago, we were just debating if he should stay in Philly or if Carson Wentz should be the one to go. So, how far have we gone to thinking it's not going to be a terribly great upgrade over Blake Bortles to, let's keep him instead of Carson Wentz?
it's the Philly magic, man.
Fuck, I guess, man, but
look at
Philly made him.
He was drafted. Who drafted him?
Who?
Nick Foles.
Was it the Eagles? Look at that up real quick while we're talking about it. But
anyways, he went from the Eagles with Chip Kelly then he went to the Rams, and then he went to
with Jeff Fisher.
Then he went to another team, and he almost retired.
Chiefs. Went to the Chiefs.
Went to the Chiefs and almost retired, but was convinced by
Andy Reid
not to retire, and went and played for Doug Peterson.
And his career resurfaced.
Yes, because he got a chance. However, he goes to Kansas City and he goes to the Rams and does nothing. Literally, he couldn't beat out what's his name, Case Keenum on the Rams.
Nope.
Or who was the other guy, Skyler? There's 3 QBs total. Was it Sam Bradford as the third one? No, they traded him to the Eagles for Nick Foles.
Yep. We had so many within that time period mixing around. Who was it? It was an old veteran. It wasn't Manning at the time. It was it wasn't Kidna. It was someone like that, like an old veteran like that. What is his name? He did play for the Lions though.
Jared Goff.
No. Anyways,
Jared Goff I think was in the thing because they
Nick Foles came out. I mean, he came after. They got rid of Nick Foles. They released him, and then the next year they drafted Goff.
Okay. Well, still, but that's my point though. He's only had success in Philly. It's kind of like Matt Flynn with the Packers. to put
Seahawks are like, this is going to be our quarterback of the future.
Don't forget the Bills. Don't forget the Bills.
Oh, my gosh.
But he only had success in Green Bay. Some players are like that. They only do good on certain teams.
He's still an upgrade over Blake Bortles, though.
Yeah, and that's why I said it's hard to go backwards with Blake Bortles.
I think the Jaguars might be all in on the next, 4 to 5 years in terms of trying to make it another deep playoff run and trying to win the Super Bowl.
You have all those young players on rookie contracts.
Well, I was about to say, yeah, and they're going to re-up on Calais Campbell, correct?
They paid his bonus. It's not looking like he's going to get cut.
Okay, so It just depends like what contract you want to give Nick Foles. I assume he's going to be looking for like a 3 to 4 year deal. That's going to be around like ballpark of what he wants. But if you can somehow get him on like a 1 year deal, see if it works out. If he plays great, awesome. You have a quarterback for the next 3 years. Like really try to like sell yourself in on it. If not, 2020 quarterback.
If I was smart and I was Nick Foles, I'd want a Sam Bradford deal where you get all your money up front and then you get that 1 to 2 year, so you at least get a bunch of money so they can cut you for nothing.
They were saying today he'd be lucky to get a $20 million deal because his pool of like suitors is dry.
Yeah.
What is it? How many teams? It would be Redskins, Jaguars, like just teams on top of my head that could use a quarterback. Those would be the only two I'm thinking of just top of my head. You guys think another one?
You gotta think. They're letting him become a free agent. Are they eligible for comp pick because he bought out his contract?
I think so, yeah.
So they could not get anybody to trade them higher than a third round pick on a 1 year, $20 million deal.
It's a lot of money.
Not even a third round, not higher than a third. It was nothing at or above a third because they would want anything because the comp pick is at the end of the round. So if you could get a third round pick from the Patriots, you take it.
Can you imagine going to the Patriots and winning Super Bowl with the Patriots?
That'd be funny.
Leaving from Nick Foles, let's jump into the tags of the NFL. The deadline was today. Donnie, do you have all the tags?
Yeah, super quick. So since the Eagles opted in with the franchise tag and Nick Foles opted out, paying like $2 million back, the Eagles are eligible for a contract.
Yeah, so they just wanted to get at least a third round pick.
That's smart. Yeah, I'd take that.
They got their third round pick after all.
For a 1 year, $20 million deal, and they couldn't get it done. That's what I'm saying. His market is dry. They should have dealt him after the Super Bowl. They would actually have a chance to get something more than a third round pick, but they wouldn't have made the playoffs last season. Who knows?
So 6 players were tagged before today's deadline at 2 p.m. our time. So Grady Jarrett of the Atlanta Falcons, Demaryius Lawrence of the Dallas Cowboys, Jadeveon Clowney of the Houston Texans, D. Ford of the Kansas City Chiefs, Robbie Gould of the San Francisco 49ers, which I thought was extremely weird, and Frank Clark of the Seattle Seahawks. Some notable players who did not get tagged is going to be Le'Veon Bell, Landon Collins, and Nick Foles, that we just talked about, Trey Flowers, Steven Gostkowski, and C.J. Mosley.
Dante Flower.
Trent Brown.
Yeah, Trent Brown too.
Dante Fowler didn't do garbage. He ain't worth it.
That was they were thinking of tagging him. That was the only player they were considering.
$17 million.
That was the only one they had a consideration
Not
of words.
a cold snowball chance.
He's gonna be lucky to get a $3 million per year deal.
I'd say like 5. So out of the players that were tagged, it was all 6. Who do you guys think is the most likely to hold out? There's one name that kind of like sticks out.
I already know who.
And friend of the podcast, Logan Bell, is not happy, but
Read me the list one more time.
So Grady Jarrett, who's the Falcons defensive tackle.
No.
Demaryius Lawrence, who's the Cowboys defensive end. Mm-hmm. Definitely no. Jadeveon Clowney of the Houston Texans, D. Ford of the Chiefs, Robbie Gould of the 49ers, my personal favorite, and then Frank Clark for the Seahawks.
Quick thing, They tagged Robbie Gould because he had strong mutual interest to go back to Chicago. They didn't want to lose him.
You think that much of him?
They didn't. Wow. There's not a kicker market right now. It's scary.
Not because Tucker just got paid. Boswell just got paid. I mean, if they want to pay him like that high end kicker money, which is about $4 or $5 million per year,
it's funny to say that's high end money.
Really?
Tag is 3.5.
I know that. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think a surprise we could see is Frank Clark. I think he could hold out. Why not?
Donnie, should we say it together?
1, 2.
I know 3. Who it is.
Demaryius Lawrence.
That's my consensus, but if you want
Demaryius Lawrence might pull a Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, yeah. I could totally see it. Wouldn't even surprise me one bit.
You see, the thing is, though, I don't know if as a pass rusher, because Le'Veon Bell, I understand he takes a beating every play, but as a pass rusher, you make your bread and butter rushing that passer. Take a year off, you're rusty, you're slower. I don't know. I think he's definitely going to either get a deal or he'll get dealt.
Really? You think they would try to trade him?
If it came to where I'm not playing under the tag no matter what, they're going to do what the Steelers try to do and try to move him along then if that's going to be the case and they can't make it work financially.
So Demarcus Lawrence's tag, I just looked it up, is $20.5 million.
Because he got tagged 2 years back to back.
So he said he won't sign his tag. He said he won't show up. He's not going to have the shoulder surgery he needed for the injury he had last year. So the deadline is July 15th.
June is it July 15th?
July. It's always mid-July.
July, okay. I get the two mixed up.
Yeah, my birthday always got ruined by Le'Veon Bell.
Is it July 15th?
Well, it's July 6th.
Oh, okay. Good.
No, birthday month, know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's... It'll be interesting to see what happens with them, because DeMarcus flat out said, I'm not going to play on his tag, and the Cowboys like, here you go. Fresh tag for you.
But that's just it, though. The only person to ever go through is saying, I'm not playing on the tag is Le'Veon Bell.
We didn't believe him.
We didn't.
Straight up, we did.
And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to that story that we don't know of what happened.
He probably just wanted to smoke weed. It's fine.
Probably, but, how many times do we hear, he's coming back this week? He's coming back this week.
Yeah.
Coming back. I don't know.
Just keep leading him on. I'll come back this week. No.
Yeah, I think DeMarcus Lawrence is high and away the favorite to hold out. Do you guys see Jadeveon Clowney having any thoughts about holding out?
I feel like he won't, but then again, you could see it as well.
I feel like if he was sensible, knowing J.J. Watt was opposite of him, I think he would take a decent payday.
I wonder what he's asking for, because I think there has been contract talks, but apparently it's not to what Jadeveon Clowney wants.
They weren't even close. Yeah. That's why he got tagged a whole day early. They were saying that, and this is the way that I'd look at it. If I was a GM, you have Jadeveon Clowney, who his first 2 years of his career couldn't stay on the field. Then his next 2 years of his career, he's been a force to be reckoned with, but he still misses a game here, a game there. And then I think last year he was healthy all 16 games.
He wasn't
his fifth year.
He wasn't crazy this year either.
Yeah, he's still pretty good.
Aaron Wilson of the Houston Chronicle reported that a agreement between the two is, quote, not close, end quote. So that's why he got tagged.
It just seems weird when J.J. Watt came back. He didn't perform as well as he did the year before. You know what I'm saying? When it was just him, we could recognize that dude's a monster. And then this year it was kind of like...
You can still see the guy's a monster. He's a great run stopper and a great pass rusher.
Oh, yeah.
And, he's getting a 1 year, basically, let's see if you stay healthy, what the Packers should have done with Nick Perry, but they didn't. And they're going to go from there. It's... I have a feeling that if I was the NFL players, I would want to get rid of the franchise tag in this next CBA.
Yeah, it's something they're going to probably talk about in the next CBA. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to get rid of the franchise tag and get...
I think they'll reduce it to one. You can only franchise tag the player once. That was an idea I brought up on Twitter. Someone was asking for ideas for the new season, what to change. And I said just make it's only one franchise tag, and you can't tag them again. It's then or nothing.
So PFT is reporting that Clowney's not going to sign the franchise tender anytime soon. He's probably going to miss off-season work, and then could also possibly miss training camp as well. And also the tag prices might be a little bit different because so that's the tag for linebackers, which is he's listed as both on Houston's roster. So for linebackers, it's $15.9 million. For defensive end, it's $17.12 million. Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
And they the 5th year option, they actually split the difference on that. Fun fact. Yep, they split the difference because he was both.
Wow.
And here's the thing I want to bring up to you guys. You have Jadeveon Clowney, you have Demarcus Lawrence, you have all these players who are young. They're Jadeveon's what, 26, 25?
Yeah.
As a pass rusher, which a proven pass rusher at that. Which how often do you get that in the NFL? And you get tagged, he can negotiate. You can go and negotiate with New England and get signed, and then the New England have to give up 2 first-round picks. Why do teams not do this? Because if I was New England, I'd give up pick 32 fucking for Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, yeah.
It's the money. Some teams just don't have the money, depending on what the roster looks like. I think that's what the big factor is.
That was also a surprise, speaking of the Patriots, that they didn't tag... Gostkowski was...
Trey Flowers.
Trey Flowers and Trent Brown. Neither of them got tagged.
They don't pay guys. They don't.
And then their own kicker too, Gostkowski.
Well, and they said that Trey Flowers and him were squibbling over, like it was super close that they got a deal done, but they didn't want to go up to $17 million, which is what Trey Flowers thinks he's worth on the open market, which he is. The tag is there at $17 million.
Why don't you just take $60 million at that point? Who cares? Just take the $16 million at that point. You know what I mean?
You gotta take every penny you can get as a player.
As a player, oh yeah.
If I'm going to play on the team that's going to be winning the Super Bowl the next 3 years in a row, $1 million.
Every player sees it differently.
Oh, no.
But your body takes a beating, and you never know when it's your last down because you could easily get cut the next day by that team. You take every penny you can get.
So I don't know if Trey Flowers going to get that money everywhere else, do you think? Who's going to pay him $17?
He's the top pass rusher available on the market now.
This isn't like
Raiders. Yeah, and
this isn't like this isn't like a Von Miller or Clowney on the market. You know what I mean? It's not to that level.
He had 8.5 sacks as a 3-4 defensive end, which you think is nothing because you see J. Watt's numbers, but he hasn't done shit lately. But he's a 3-4 end. That 8.5 sacks is phenomenal.
We'll definitely see. I think it's high. I think right where they offer him this, if it was 16, he should just take it and stay with the Patriots and get a Super Bowl contention almost every year.
Well, he'll test the market, and this is what they all do. If they want to go back to the Patriots or whoever team that they are originally from, they'll go and they'll get an offer from somebody. It's like, hey, this is what they're willing to pay me. Are you willing to match that? Because they want to stick with that team. Because if he's willing to take it, why not at least give them a chance to match it?
Could you imagine the Patriots just be like, no, and just rip up the contract in front of him and be like, no, you left, we didn't sign you again.
That happens all the time.
Okay, so out of the 6 franchise players, who's most likely to sign their tag first?
Frank Clark.
Yeah, I'm going to say either Frank Clark or D Ford. No, actually, no. If we're being technical, probably Robbie Gould. I'm sure Robbie Gould wouldn't mind.
Oh, yeah. $3.5 million.
Yeah. With the Seahawks, it's so how their egos are. I don't know enough about Frank Clark to know how his personality is with that. He could take a little bit to see how everyone else is signing before he determines.
Yeah, I just feel like the attitude and swagger of Seattle's gone now.
I don't know. I think it's still there. But again, I don't know much about him. But it wouldn't surprise me if he held out a little bit to see what the market is.
I think they still have an attitude. They just don't have swagger.
Yeah, true.
You should the bottom
of Earl Thomas league. That's for damn sure.
There'll be nothing left.
Yeah, if we're excluding the obvious kicker out of scenario, probably either D Ford or Frank Clark. My picks.
What about Garrett? You think he would sign quick?
Great Jarrett. Yeah, depending on what the Falcons want to do with their front seven.
What do you guys think of the Chiefs opening to trade D Ford?
I thought they were trying to shop Justin Houston.
Justin Houston's reportedly getting cut.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're going to a 4-3 defense. That's the kicker here. Yes. That's why they're open. That's why they tagged D Ford instead of working out a long-term deal because they don't know how he'd fit in a 4-3.
So they're shopping him and holding on to him at the same time to kind of see.
It's in a situation where if we keep him, we are good with that. But if we trade him, we're also good with that because we don't know how he fits in the 4-3.
I know a team linked was the Rams were high on Ford, so look out for.
With what money are you going to pay him?
We just got 13 more million cutting Sullivan and Barron.
You do know you have dead money from that, right?
I did read the dead money. It was only 1.2.
How much were you paying Mark Barron?
I just had it up. Hold on, let me.
While he's pulling that up, though,
Rams get back all $6.25 million in cap space and a $1 million salary cap credit. So basically $7.25. This is for Sullivan in not picking up his option. Barron saves $6.33. So essentially, Rams created $13.5 million in cap space.
God, you guys are overpaying them.
Yeah, and we're getting it all back this year. So
but what
nice.
are you going to do? You're going to have a huge hole in the middle linebacker spot now because Mark Barron gave you versatility, and now you're going to have a huge hole at center, which you can say what you want about him not being able to block. He makes all the calls and is more crucial than you think to that offensive.
But also, Brian Allen was behind him learning all the same things. So he would, as of right now, unless we draft someone, he would be the replacement, which they're fine with. And then at linebacker, they're looking to address it in free agency.
With what? Okay.
We've been over this cap before, and I've shown you it. They have the money to do it.
You paid $15 million to Brandon Cooks, $15 million to Todd Gurley. You're gonna be paying Jared Goff $30.
Okay, so
$5 million.
before the Baron cut today, the Rams have $22.5 million in cap space. You had 21 pending free agents this year, which you have to re-sign. Those being Ndamukong Suh, Lamarcus Joyner, Dante Fowler, Sam Shields, C.J. Anderson, Malcolm Brown.
Anderson's the only one coming back.
Corey's a restricted free agent.
Yeah, he's restricted.
But if you tender him at a second-round pick, it's a $4 million hit now. They actually were saying that restricted free agents are going to be seeing a lot less of that because the second-round tender got doubled. So it's not going to be as cheap.
I did see that.
It's a good thing the Rams don't have like a quarterback coming up that's going to get paid a whole bunch of money.
I know, right? It's a good thing that they
go look at the cap next year.
Huh?
I'm telling you, go look at the cap next year.
The cap next year is going to go up 10.
Don't say because that's when they got to sign Goff. They have a big jump. They dump a lot of salary this next year coming up too.
Like a third of your salary cap is going to be going towards Donald, Goff, and then Gurley.
Yeah,
which that's another thing. Gurley's arthritis. You guys hear about that?
Yeah, limits him. They said 2 years.
Well, no.
You want to know my signed Gurley jersey out there? It just went up flames when I heard that.
Like you can't get rid of that, man.
No, you feel like crap all the time. It's always there.
That's what was wrong with him. That's what the Rams want to come out and say.
He had a knee injury which sparked it all to come back.
Just paid him too, man.
Well, arthritis also flares up depending on weather too. So like if it's rainy outside, it'll flare up, stuff like that.
All right. Well, back to franchise players. Who do you think is going to see the best payday out of that group?
That were franchise or were not franchise?
Were franchise.
The best payday?
There's two that are going to be fighting for it. It's just a matter of who signs first.
I think it's Jadeveon. Jadeveon, Demaryius. I think those are...
Yeah, those are the two contenders, but you got to think about who has more cap space.
Texans.
The Texans have way more space, so I'm going to go with Jadeveon. I think Lawrence, he may be on the team this year, but
Texans need to address O-line. I don't know. I would hate to see him trade him away or let him go, you know what I mean? But they got to make room for other positions that they need to fill.
Yes.
I would be more moving Watt, sign Clowney, if anything, see how that plays out. But because they both had injuries throughout their career, it'd be crazy. But I mean, Watt is older.
Yeah, you're right.
Watt also had 2 crazy injuries. I'm surprised they didn't try to restructure his deal.
I know. I mean, there was other players today getting. It was on Lane Johnson again. The Eagles restructuring his contract again.
Really?
I can't believe his. Did they just push money down the road?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
They just keep doing that to be able to make room to sign more players off season and stuff.
So the Cowboys have $27.4 million available in cap space, and then it jumps all the way to the Texans, who have $74 million.
Yeah. I'll take Jadeveon Clowney and give him the fattest payday.
The Cowboys pinching pennies here, Lawrence.
They're probably going to use some of that money to sign up Thomas too.
I don't think so, man. They gotta pay Dak next year. They gotta pay Zeke's gonna want his deal. You gotta pay Byron Jones.
I don't think they're paying Zeke.
You don't think they're gonna pay Zeke?
I think they're letting him walk, man.
No.
God, dude.
Well, not just let him walk.
Do you think they'll pull Le'Veon Bell on him? Like they'll just keep tagging him?
It's just
I can totally see it. Now you say that.
I think behind that offensive line, get another running back in there, man.
Logan Bell, are you listening?
Hey, no.
No, Logan agrees.
No, he's got a point. Think about Gurley. C.J. Anderson flipped right in there.
I'm not saying the Cowboys are just going to let him walk willy-nilly free. They're going to try to sign him to a contract. But if Zeke pays attention to what just happened with Todd Gurley, what may happen with Le'Veon Bell, had that contract not came about, Todd Gurley's not looking at a big payday like he was.
No, you mean Zeke?
No, I'm saying Todd Gurley with all shit with his knee.
Oh,
had he not signed that contract.
I thought you were saying if his contract didn't come out that Zeke would.
No, but as a running back, and Zeke's getting the shitload of carries and touches in Dallas. I mean, the Cowboys should basically do what the Steelers are with Le'Veon Bell. Hey, here's 400 carries. Go ahead. Sorry, 400 touches. Go ahead. Here's a franchise tag. Here's $15 million. It's $45 in the first 3 years. You don't like it? Later. Yeah.
No, I mean,
This could literally change the running back market going forward. Just you don't even sign to the second deal. You just run him into the ground, and then you just let him go to the market. Someone gets him on a cheaper deal. Just get the back end of their career. Wow.
I think Todd Gurley really fucked, like, not only him, but, like, Zeke, too. Zeke's the next, like, big running back looking for a payday. Like, Melvin Gordon, like, maybe, but, like...
Leonard Fournette, maybe. It could be the next one after that, I think.
Now, think about it, because, like, let's say Todd Gurley next year just is not right, and, like, for whatever reason, just doesn't play up to his standard. The Rams are eating that contract, dude.
No, I agree. And
it's a running back. You could draft any of those. You can pull some dude off the street.
For at least
C.J. Anderson.
2 years, we're paying him. Then after that, we could do whatever. But we got 2 more years of him where it's no matter what.
Guaranteed money from running back in NFL history.
For now.
Highest average salary per year for running back in NFL history.
Gurley may have changed the running back market for how much to get paid, but he may have just also hurt it.
No, I agree with you guys. The only thing is I don't know. I think Dallas would keep Zeke.
This is gonna be fun to watch tonight.
But here's okay. So let's just play hypotheticals here.
Okay.
So $23 million. That's with Lawrence on the tag at $21 million. Let's say that they have $28 million, and say Lawrence signs for $27 million, and say Lawrence signs for a $17 million deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to let their star pass rusher go. You go in next year. We're assuming, making asses out of you and me.
Right.
It goes up $10 million next year. So they have $37 million in cap space before any free agent signings this year. You're going to have to pay your rookie free agent class because you will have a first-round pick next year. And you're going to have to pay Dak, which Dak is going to command $25 to $30 million, unless you're going to move on from Dak, which I kind of want them to, but it's split. Jury's out. You're going to have to pay Amari Cooper. And you also have free safety Byron Jones, who is your best defender that is coming up for contract outside of Demaryius Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm on overthecap.com right now, and like Demaryius Lawrence's contract isn't figured into that $27 million.
It is not figured in.
I'm not saying.
Wait, I just had a crazy idea.
Okay, then they definitely are not going to be able to pay.
I'm about to hit you with a wide left right now. When do you have to sign Dak by?
Next year, he was a fourth round.
So he'll be a free agent after that year.
Yeah.
You tag
after this upcoming season.
So last year, you trade him or whatever you want to do with him, or get him like something like that, and then after that year, Tua.
No, he's got to be signed after this season. This season is contract. This is his last season.
Like you said, if they let him go, the draft class for quarterbacks would be right perfect for them to fill someone else in, and then you don't have to pay him.
I don't think his market would be that good.
But you know what I'm saying? It'd be just fine to let Dak go, and then you have a draft quarterback class that's stacked.
Yeah,
and
but you have to be picking in the top 3 to get into that quarterback class.
But Zeke is also need to rework on his deal.
So you think trading Zeke?
Wouldn't you think you could trade Zeke and get some value to move up in the first round?
Oh yeah.
You'd have to give up both your first round picks, Zeke, and even more capital to move up and get a guy like Tua or a guy like Fromm.
The assets
from
are
the mid-20s.
We don't know where they're going to draft.
They're going to be picking probably in the mid-20s because they're probably going to make the playoffs. Especially with how weak that division is now because Washington doesn't have a QB. The Eagles are sticking with Carson Wentz, who can't stay healthy for the life of him. And the Giants are Eli Manning. So they're going to be a division winner and they're going to be a above 20 pick.
But I'm saying the assets are there to make the moves if they want to. Like I said, it's a far left scenario I'm throwing at you. Because you said if they let go of Dak, they have.
Okay, Scott, you've already been burned on Twitter once. You can't survive another burning.
It's just an idea. Like I said, a far left thing to throw at you. If you said they're going to let go of Dak, they have a quarterback class to take.
That would be good. You'd have to gut your roster to make a move like that.
We've seen teams gut their rosters though many times.
When? The last team that gutted their roster for a QB was Washington. 3 first-round picks. Your Rams benefited tremendously off of that.
I understand that, but it's happened.
That's what I'm saying, though. And the Rams moved up from 6 to 3 or whatever it was that year. Do you remember when the Falcons moved up from 20 2 or whatever to 6. They gave up 2 first-round picks. They gave up their second-round pick. Yeah, they gave up the haul to go to 6 for a wide receiver. Do you know what? Next year's draft, Tua and Fromm are going 1 and 2, whether it's those 2 teams picking there or 2 teams trading up. And the draft capital for the Cowboys to have to move up to get them would be absurd.
You also think of this. Remember when we said Drew Lock was going number 1 earlier this last year? And now he's going 10.
Drew Lock going into the season, though, was not considered a generational prospect and did not lead their teams to national... Tua's gone to the national title game. Is technically his rookie starting season.
I'm just saying.
Won it in his
we've
first
seen
year.
these quarterbacks where they're like, before we even get to the draft part, and they're undeclared number 1, and then we get there and they get pushed back to 10, like we see Drew Lock or other quarterbacks.
Did you ever see Andrew Luck, who was considered a talent like these 2 guys are? Do you think Sunshine's going to be pushed back like these 2 guys would be?
All I'm saying is a far left scenario, Austin. That's all I'm saying.
Skyler, you went far left and then went deep into the dark zone.
No, all I said is they have a quarterback class available to them if they let Prescott go. That's all I said.
You were saying that they would get Tua or Fromm.
I said they could. They have the opportunity because it would be there presented to them. They have that opportunity. I didn't say it's guaranteed.
All right, I'm just going to say this, and then we can move on. If the Cowboys consider that, not even make a deal for it, consider it, Jerry Jones needs to be fired.
Sure, already been.
I'm just saying. Anyways, I think that covers the tag players. And we got a little bit off topic there with a wide left topic.
Sticking on the Cowboys, though, Jason Witten is coming back out of retirement.
Okay, this came out of left field.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, speaking of shit, that's just like out of nowhere. Like this, I don't know if ESPN was like, "Yo, like you need to go." Like, you can't sit with us at the lunch table. But I don't know. Like there were no rumors about this at all.
There were rumors last year, and he shot him down.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm coming back, and then Dallas literally like snapped the fingers, already had him on a deal. Like, what the hell?
Because this was they already had prearranged it. He called up Dallas and said, "If I come back, would you sign me to a deal and let's go?"
They gave him some decent money too.
$3.5 million, not bad.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What?
What?
So I'm saying, when I read the money, I was like, what?
$3.5 million, and I think there's incentives in there too.
Oh, no.
So it's like I think 5.
And he's gonna be incentives after you saw Zach Ertz and all the other people fucking going off now.
You could have signed so many other younger tight ends.
See, $3.5 million could have went to Earl.
Wow.
Just for an old tight end, what? He's like 30 something.
You know why DeMarcus Lawrence isn't showing up on that over the cap? Sorry, he hasn't signed his tender.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I looked on Spot Track and that number was included. And the salary cap, they had like $28 million. So.
Okay, that's weird.
I know. It's so weird. Like, wherever you go, like, salary cap numbers are always going to be different. I looked on 4 different websites one time to try to get, like, a number on, like, Steelers cap. They were all just like... Yeah, dude, it's fucking... Jason Witten, 3.5.
Yeah, $3.5 million for Jason Witten.
I would have laughed.
Somebody tweeted out at Steve Smith, "You gonna come back and play too now that Witten's coming back?" And he said, "Nah, man, I'm actually good at my job."
No, he said that on live TV at the Combine.
That's so funny,
dude.
No, did you see Chris Johnson joked about coming back too?
Chris Johnson, what did he say?
He tweeted out, he's like, "I'm coming back, man, to the Tennessee Titans," saying something like that. Like, shut your mouth. Like, no one wants you back. No, you couldn't beg a team to get your back. No, it'd be another left fielder, freaking Calvin Johnson. All to drop one now.
He could.
Calvin Johnson is every year around the trade deadline, somebody inquires to get his rights, and the only reason that happens is because his agent goes, "Hey, he'll come out of retirement to play for you."
Yeah, but then Detroit's like, "We're not trading him." Mm-hmm. He comes to play for us.
Detroit eventually will say yes. And if it keeps on coming. The interest.
He's going to be... How old is he? He's got to be at the point where it's almost real concern to even bring him.
2007 draft class, 12 years. He'd be 33 years old, roughly speaking.
That'd be like asking Larry Fitzgerald, like, at this point, he's ready to retire. You know, like, it's
getting but Calvin Johnson is now... Yeah, I wouldn't want him.
It's true. He'll be 34 in September.
Yeah.
See, look at that.
So if you wanted to get him, Detroit would want an asking price that's astronomical, and you wouldn't be willing to give up more than a third.
Well, don't forget, you'd also get his contract that he still had like 3 years on.
How much money was he being paid on that?
Oh, it was a load.
Oh, so no.
Even joked and said, "Calvin, you signed that, right?" Yes. Okay, we would have given you more money.
No, it's basically just Larry Fitzgerald, because Larry Fitzgerald's getting paid that big money too for his deal.
$10 million. I can't believe that.
Cardinals are just paying him for what he's done. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's on a 7-year, $113.45 million extension in 2012.
And he retired 2 years later, didn't he? 2014?
2016.
He retired in 2016?
Yeah.
Kind of.
So it says retired.
Yeah, right?
He officially retired in 2016.
Can you believe we've been that long without Calvin Johnson? We could still have him right now?
God. But you said $113 million?
Mm-hmm.
I miss Calvin Johnson now. Thanks, Donnie.
To fill you guys in, that's just north of $16 million a year.
I was about to say his earnings starting in 2011 go $11 million, $21 million, $25 million, then it drops down to $5 million, and then it goes to $12.5 million in 2015.
So wait, what did Odell get signed for? Now I think
5 years.
Odell earns $18 million.
Yeah.
Per year. Yeah.
Just think that Calvin Johnson would be just close to the top of elite receivers contract right now.
Well, Calvin Johnson would have gotten a new deal by now. Because he signed that in 2012. 7-year deal. He would have been up for extension at this year.
True.
Had he played.
Odell would be begging for his contract that Calvin Johnson would have gotten.
Well, that's assuming Calvin Johnson stays healthy. And
well, I meant like if you would have not retired, stayed, like you said, healthy at the end of that deal, astronomical numbers. Highest played over Aaron Donald or something crazy.
I was like, no, don't make Donald want more.
Yeah, don't want him more. Well, thank you guys for listening to Pylon Podcast, the post-combine recap of NFL news and all the franchise tags as well. Again, catch us on Spreaker, iTunes, SoundCloud, Facebook, YouTube. Any questions, concerns, comments at the Pylon to Pylon Podcast, ptppodcast@gmail.com. And leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Hit us up, guys. We need some more love out there to bring it to everyone else.
Up. Tell us we suck. Do something, man.
No, we love football. We hate their opinion, Donnie. Come on.
Exactly. So tell us we suck, and we'll tell them right back.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Exactly.
No, seriously, though, comment and let us know who you thought was the biggest surprise that you thought got the tag and who you think is going to cave in first and sign his tender. Jadeveon Clowney or Demaryius Lawrence?
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening to the Pylon Podcast. Signing off, Skylar Burkhart.
Austin Frizzoco.
Donnie Druin.
Have a great one, guys.